Okay. What are the ways, like how do you handle exception in Spring Boot?
Yeah, so Spring for exception handling in Spring Boot, majorly we use the customized exceptions. And also other part we use the try and catch. By using try and catch also we can able to handle the exceptions. And by using throws keyword, but that method level also is to handle that exception. So majorly for the logging purpose or I mean, meaningful exception message kind of procedures, majorly we used customized exception. So we used to create a one class, and then that class will be extended existed exception class runtime or exception or something like that as per our exception measures we want to throw
You
it.
know about
So then,
controller advice.
yeah, that I know, but I we didn't get a chance to use that actually. So we used majorly this customized exception and then try and
What
catch
is
and then
what
throw.
is controller advice and why it is used?
Mm, sure exactly.
Okay. What is the difference between post mapping and put mapping?
Yeah, yeah. So post HTTP request, what it will do is it will not check. I mean, what to say? So it will create the new resource in a database. But what is the put will do is what it will check. It will check whether the request when the resource is available or not. If it is available, so what it will do is it will update the resource, and if it is not available, so it will create the new resource. But in the case of the post mapping, so directly it will create the new resource if it is available or not. If it is available or not, then directly it will create the new resource. So that's a major difference between.
And what's the difference between put and patch?
Uh, Patch, I'm not aware of it actually. So because we didn't have a chance to work on it immediately. Yeah.
Okay. For example, post mapping. How do you validate that the request body is valid or not?
Sorry, which coding is? Sorry.
So for I'm asking about post mapping. How do you validate that the input request body is valid or not?
Yeah. So for the post mapping, so we need to have the request body. So for that, so we have the POJOs for that. So have DTOs. So there, so in a control level or in a business layer level. So we used to validate those DTOs and then with the entities level. So whether the attributes whether the properties are coming as per the entities properties or not. So then each and every field, what is the required fields, what are the not required fields, what is the then the types
Is
of it, and then everything.
does Spring Boot provide any feature, any specific annotations for that validation part?
Um, for input request body for immediate, I mean internally it will validate your time.
Okay, fine. What's the difference between path variable and request parameter?
Yeah. Path variable is like so we'll provide the in while creating the what you call the path of a particular method. So we'll create and a curly braces will provide that variable name, and then that variable name it will bind here in I mean, parameter signature method signature. So this value will be provided in the URL itself. And for query param, so that will be also there in a URI. So there, where comes to the question mark, and then what is the value of that? There we can provide the. I mean, we can expose that attribute with a value by in a URI.
Okay. Which is safe way of doing it, or which is recommended way using request
Yeah,
parameter or path variable?
yeah. Most probably, so because instead of exposing that value and then with the attribute and the value, so path variable is the best way to use it actually.
So where would you like, on what condition, on what requirement you'll use path variable, or on what requirement you'll use request parameter?
Yeah. So suppose, yeah, what are the suppose the necessary information or important, means security information, if you don't want to expose, so then you can go for path variable way of doing, and then if you don't want, so if while exposing that variable, so that doesn't impact any security related concerns in for application, so then you can go for path variable.
You said same thing for both.
No, no, no. So if you don't want expose the, I mean, suppose that information is threatening to the application or security related concern will get for the application. So don't go for path variable. Sorry, query
Okay.
param. Sorry, query param. Yeah.